What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Now it's SummerSlam less than 2 weeks away. What will the WWE do to hype the show? Anyway, join us now as Wrestlelamia analyzes the 10th August edition of the Red Brand and looks at the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE proving Kendo sticks aren't fake. Is Brock Lesnar coming to Raw Underground? Have the Raw dances been banned? And much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. As always, we won't waste your time recapping the matches, but we will take a look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly of last night's show. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, the Hurt Business is the highlight of Raw. Now, don't get us wrong, WWE has made some questionable hires in the past, but bringing MVP back into the company is one of their best moves in years. MVP is a fantastic manager for his growing clientele, having helped re-establish Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin as legitimate stars. The VIP Lounge is always a highlight on Raw, a reminder the Red Brand needs more segments like this to get fans to tune in every week. Number 2, building Benjamin back up. Shelton Benjamin is one of wrestling's biggest what-if tales. An extraordinarily gifted wrestler, his amateur background in wrestling made him an early favorite when he was paired with Charlie Haas as Team Angle, with Kurt Angle guiding him and Haas. Despite winning secondary titles, Benjamin fell short and eventually became a highly talented enhancement talent. At age 45, he's only 1 year younger than MVP, but he could still enjoy a few years wrestling if he's used properly. Using MVP as his mouthpiece, the WWE has quickly built him up as a solid mid-card act with strong potential to go further. Number 3, R-Truth entertains as always. No matter how bad Raw or a pay-per-view may be, you can always count on R-Truth for a few laughs. Truth disguised as a ninja was his latest triumph as he surprised Akira Tozawa to become 24/7 champion again. The fact that no one has picked R-Truth up for a comedy series remains a mystery, as he would be a great supporting character or even the main star. Number 5, Peyton Royce shines. Peyton Royce's match against Liv Morgan served as a reminder that not only does Liv Morgan have a way to go in the ring, but that Peyton Royce is a potential single star. Rumor has it that's exactly what WWE has in mind, and the fact that they've given her finisher a name, Deja Vu, suggests that they may be working on her own soon. Although the women's division desperately needs a team like the Iconics, the WWE seems determined to turn Royce into a solo star, something we hope won't lead to Billie Kay falling by the wayside. Number 6, Asuka vs Bayley. Like R-Truth, a match between the likes of Asuka and Bayley is always going to be entertaining, as seen last night when the Empress of Tomorrow defeated Bayley Dos Belts to earn a Raw Women's Championship match at SummerSlam. While the idea of Asuka having to defeat a blue brand star for a red brand title is a little convoluted, we're happy that we got to see this match, regardless of the reasoning behind it. Number 6, Bianca vs Zelina. Fans who watched Bianca Belair in NXT or saw her breakout performance at the 2020 Royal Rumble knows she's too good to be standing on the sidelines. Zelina Vega, on the other hand, is one of the WWE's best managers in some time, but like MVP, she's also a good wrestler who can go in the ring. It was wise for the WWE to add another dimension to the Street Profits vs Andrade Garza feud by including the women behind the teams. And finally, a tribute to Kamala. It goes without saying that WWE legends should be honored when they pass away, but that doesn't always happen, particularly when a former WWE superstar does something to get on Vince McMahon's bad side. The fact that James Harris, aka Kamala, participated in the class action concussion lawsuit against the WWE might have kept his career from being acknowledged, but thankfully it didn't. Now, if the WWE would only start inducting some of these well-deserving wrestlers into the Hall of Fame, they could let bygones be bygones. There are a number of superstars who participated in the lawsuit who remain out of the Hall of Fame, such as Kamala and Tag Team Demolition, apparently due to their status in the now defunct lawsuit. But that was the good. What about the bad? As number 1, the Retribution attacks are pretty weak. Retribution's attacks on Raw were a weak follow-up to Friday's carnage on SmackDown. While we guess the WWE can't keep upping the ante unless it wants the group to torch down the Performance Center, tipping over a car and throwing a cinder block through glass were a little weak, as neither action showed what the group's endgame is. Even worse for fans, it shows the WWE are unsure where the storyline is headed, let alone who the group members are. Number 2, Raw Underground flounders. Raw Underground was back for its second week, and other than giving Shayna Baszler an opportunity to showcase her real-life MMA background, there was nothing interesting or compelling about the segments. The WWE needs to tell the fans why people are participating and find a way to make the so-called fights interesting. There's not even a belt on the line. Right now, it seems like leftover footage from a WWE Studios Bloodsport ripoff film. Number 3. Job Squad 2020, aka Viking Raiders, Ricochet and Cedric, who have been reduced to beating Tozawa and ninjas. Watching the Viking Raiders team up with the perpetual jobbers Ricochet and Cedric Alexander to battle Tozawa and a band of ninjas was a painful reminder of how low Eric and Ivar's career has sunk in the last few months. The way things are going, they'll soon be featured players on Main Event, and a distant memory for fans who were excited when the Burly Beast debuted on Raw with the potential to dominate the tag team division. Now, you'll be happy to know there was no Downright Ugly of last night's show, but considering that, it was a very average show. And considering it's less than 2 weeks until SummerSlam, arguably the WWE's second biggest pay-per-view, that's not a good sign. There was nothing of note, and although Randy's attack on Flair was brutal, it was no surprise as fans knew it was coming the moment Flair aligned himself with Orton. Well, he's not called a legend killer for no reason, is he? What the WWE needs to do next week is step up next week's Raw, work on figuring out the rules for Raw Underground, and give Retribution some direction. But what did you guys think of Raw? Let us know in the comments down below. Now, let's move on to the news. As a WWE Raw superstar is about to be released. It appears that a Raw superstar's WWE career is in jeopardy, with a recent report by Dave Meltzer indicating Austin Theory has been on an unofficial suspension. A report by Tom Colohue also suggests Theory's WWE career is uncertain. Speaking on the Dropkicks Discussions podcast, he noted, "This is a situation that is very much personal to Austin Theory. There is a lot of moving parts to it, so I have been careful with what I say. He's been gone for a while with no mention because, to put it simply, the WWE still aren't sure whether he'll have a job by the end of it. However, it could be that he simply comes back, gets on television even as early as 2 weeks from now, and it's all been forgotten about. There are many possible outcomes. At the moment, he is suspended." Now, you may recall Theory had joined Seth Rollins' ministry on Raw only to disappear from television with no explanation following his name being mentioned during the Speak Out movement. The 23-year-old wrestler was seen as a rising star until his absence. Next up, Ken Shamrock offers to appear in Raw Underground. Raw Underground is getting a lot of talk from fans and wrestlers alike, some of it criticism and some of it offers on how to help. Former WWE superstar and Intercontinental Champion Ken Shamrock recently tweeted, "Hey WWE and Shane McMahon, next time you guys want to do some work shoots on Raw Underground and actually make them look good, you got my number, give me a call." When a snarky fan questioned bringing in another Attitude Era star, the world's most dangerous man replied, "I said if you want to make it look real, which I know how to do, I never said participate." Naturally, some fans would love to see Shamrock competing, but would he be better utilized as a consultant? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, have the Raw dancers been banned due to criticism? Now, WWE Hall of Famer Alundra Blaze, who is now working in AEW, doesn't seem thrilled with at least one aspect of Raw Underground, recently tweeting, "So, we're bringing back half-naked women in the same breath of promoting the evolution and equality of women. Yes, this is entertainment. Yes, this is a skit. Yes, this is acting. Yes, this is wrestlers. Why resort to women sexually dancing opening a show? Why not men in Speedos?" Former WWE producer Lance Storm added his thoughts, tweeting, "I agree with your point completely. I will pop huge tonight though if they do a women's underground and have 3 Chippendale type dancers. If you're going to do eye candy, at least do it for everyone. Hashtag equality." Well, it seems that WWE is done with it altogether, as seen on last night's Raw when we didn't see any dancers at all. Or we're pretty sure we didn't see any dancers on Raw. Do you think Storm or Blaze's comments had anything to do with it? Should WWE have some Chippendale dancers instead to just equal things up? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up is Brock Lesnar on Raw Underground. Like most of its storylines, the WWE still seems to be fleshing out the details of Raw Underground, but that doesn't mean the idea is lacking in potential. One name that's been mentioned as a great fit for the Underground Shoot Fighting League is Brock Lesnar. During a recent edition of their podcast Dropkick Discussions, Tom Colohue and Corey Gunz discussed bringing the Beast, with Gunz suggesting, yeah, in my opinion, the creative writes itself where you go with this Raw Underground, and eventually maybe you get the Raw Underground champion and then walks Brock Lesnar, ready to just take that title of the best fighter in the WWE. I think it would be a great way to get this Lashley-Lesnar match, or maybe it's more of a fight than we've been hearing so much about that Lashley has been pushing for. Maybe make Lashley the Raw Underground champion and then Lesnar shows up to challenge him for the crown. To me that's too obvious, that would be the direction to go. Next up, WWE proves that kendo sticks are real. Rookie wrestlers are known for taking legitimate beatings in the ring to show their toughness, but Dominic Mysterio earned his wrestling stripes figuratively and literally on last night's Raw after he was brutally beaten with kendo sticks by Seth Rollins and Murphy. The WWE uploaded pictures showing the carnage inflicted on Dominic's body by the Monday Night Messiah and Murphy, leading to Hall of Famer Bully Ray praising Dominic's toughness. Looks like Dominic's already paid his dues in the ring before even making his in-ring debut. So, has he paid his dues? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.